Alrighty. Hello from across the room. This is the official part one of the Williams Doozie. I have to look up and see what the title is because I have so many games in my head right now. But we're just going to relax, have some fun, work on a pinball today. So I'll go ahead and do the kind of the pause, unpause as needed so you don't have to sit and watch me kind of futz with the cameras or something like that. So I kind of have my clicker right over here so I can hit pause more easily. So, you know, we're going to start maybe with taking the back glass out right now and get that clear coated. And of course it doesn't come out because I have to pull the levers on the back. Not a big deal. It's a nice nice October day outside, so I think we'll get the Krylon triple thick out and we're going to spray this back glass so it's sealed and protected, and it is in, wow. It's in good shape. I think Williams back glasses from this era were known for being pretty good. You may notice too I'm down to 3 cameras. I did that deliberately. I felt that having, you know, we got the playfield camera here, we got this camera here, we got that camera there. It's like, where do I look? That might be a little bit too disorienting. We haven't turned the game on yet, but these are the elusive 455 light bulbs. So hopefully most of these are working. I don't think you can get these anymore. So that's nice to see those in there. We'll get LEDs in the back box, of course. You know, this game is, I'm excited about this one. It's in pretty good cosmetic shape already. I mean, it's definitely dirty. It needs to be cleaned up. So you can see I'm already cleaning in spots that I already have my camera heading on. So we'll go ahead and angle that up a little bit. I didn't even point that out. This is where that 455 bulb was. And we're kind of just looking at these score reels. They seem pretty sturdy, but we'll get those cleaned up too. So there's our 455s. You know, this guy here is pretty dirty. Clean that up. But yeah, the back glass is looking pretty good. Let me make sure I got the right angle. We'll even take this off. I think I'm going to do just kind of a standard still camera right there. There's my kitchen in the background. And then we got a camera back there pointing at the whole kind of scene, so it feels a little bit more personable. So you can actually see me and what I'm doing. And then I'll kind of have this as my action camera to, you know, make some noteworthy things. But like I was saying, this back glass is in really good shape. So I don't like cleaning glass like this as is. Like, I don't want to spray Windex or any type of cleaner on there. You can tell that someone's already kind of cleaned right here. I'm just going to go over it in clear coat, and then I'll take a razor blade and I'll scrape the windows, and that's my way of cleaning it. Otherwise, you know, if you try some type of glass cleaner, you kind of not compensate. What's the word I'm looking for? Compromise. Kind of compromise those some of the original artwork and things like that. So since this is part one, I already did an overview. You know, flipper bats are on backwards. There's a lot of work to do on this. Cosmetics are in good shape, but like I said earlier, since it's a nice day, let's get outside. Maybe take this piece out and clean it. Maybe I'll bring a camera over here to the edge on my back patio, and you can watch me with a can of spray paint, maybe. But yeah, let's. I'm gonna get this thing set up. We'll get the triple thick out, and we'll take a look at that. All right, surprise! We're pointed outside. You know, as I was getting my triple thick out, I was just thinking, it's probably not even necessary to clear coat this. I actually found a dry cloth rather than using chemicals or anything like that. I don't want to, kind of risky business doing something like this, because if you have any like metal burrings on there, you know, don't want to start peeling the artwork off. Just try to get maybe some of the dirt off so it looks a little bit better. I mean, since we're going to go to LEDs, we don't have to worry about any heat on the back anymore. But you know what, since it's so old and original, it's a nice protective layer to put on there. If you really wanted to get motivated, you could take this metal trim off, but now, you know, you're kind of playing with fire, in my opinion, on that. So I will take the rest of the trim off though. So if you're lucky, the kind of that tape that holds it together, that can kind of stay on the inside of the trim. Go ahead and take this side off. You can see some of that tape just kind of folds around there. It helps give it a nice grip onto the trim from the glass. So take this off there. I believe that's plate glass. It definitely feels like it. Or just maybe it is tempered, but it just hasn't been sanded on the edges. Yeah, that's definitely sharp. But that way we can kind of get that clear right to the edge. And again, if I really want to, I can start taking this off, but now you're forcing things, and if I bend something at the wrong angle, now I'm out of glass. And I don't even know if I can find one of these glasses. In fact, I almost didn't take it home with me. So I'll just keep the camera rolling for obvious reasons. I got my Krylon triple thick here. I won't have audio outside. I'm not getting that ambitious, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. Do a real thin coat. close the screen door too. But one reason I want to do a thin coat is just kind of let it, not really absorb, but I just need to have so much liquid on there and have it start evaporating all at once. I don't want to do any damage to the glass. We're just going to go real thin. Very good. So you probably get a better angle than me as far as what I got. I mean, it looks like a pretty even coat, but again, it's pretty light. There's not really much on there right now, so that doesn't take very long to dry. So we'll just let that sit there for a little bit. And let me bring one of the cameras back here. All right, this will be kind of a fun video to watch all the way through. Not that I'm trying to twist your guys' arms into watching it, but I'll be doing a lot of pausing and taking breaks and things like that. So you can watch the sun kind of probably slowly set. In fact, I'm already missing a couple of these nut drivers because I'm still working on that other game in the other room. So I'm just going to find the rest of my pieces here. We're going to take this lockdown bar trim piece off. In fact, maybe I do have on me here. I've got my Weehaw tool set. So, oh, see, there it is. 11 over 32 should do it, hopefully. Maybe I'm off by a little bit. There we go. So we're just going to pop this thing off real quick. And again, this is it's going to be a longer stream, so if it's something where you don't like to see an exercise in turning a screwdriver or a nut driver, you can skip ahead to the next part, that whatever you find interesting. So start laying our hardware there. Let's see. It's going to have to be opened up. Uh-oh. Can I get to that? Does that even hold that on there, or does that go through the wood? I can't remember. We'll see how it goes. But that nut driver's not even going to get me in there. So we're going to have to come up with something to get this thing apart. Sometimes these pieces have a little hole cut out where you can actually get in and bypass. Does that make any sense? So like the bolts that go through the coin door, they kind of go through this thing because there's a larger hole cut out. So one doesn't have anything to do with the other. Maybe we'll get lucky and that'll be the case, or maybe I have to go find something different to hold the... Now it looks like it goes through. If I take this little piece right off, this slide action lever should come out. Technical terms. So this is not a bad reason to have this on video too, in case I forget how it goes back together. Take these two Phillips out, set all my hardware in one spot. Was that a machine screw or a wood screw? I thought that was a wood screw. Okay. That falls out. And this slides right out. Okay, my life just got better. Nice. I don't remember those coming apart that easily. Except this guy here. How on earth does that guy come out? I'm looking at this, I don't know if you can see it on the outside, this carriage bolt. I don't see where it comes through to the other side. Maybe it's flush on the back side. I don't know. Why did I do that? Larger size. This guy's pretty much done. We got 1, 2, 3 missing on the front. I like to be organized. It takes a little bit more time, but I like being organized, but being organized might be two different things. But that's why I like to kind of put the hardware together in case I spill something. I kind of know where the washers are and all that. So a couple more Phillips here and this thing should be off. I'm going to work on this in the front garage, this metal piece. We're going to get it cleaned up, so I'm not going to get that elaborate with the cameras. And all in all, this piece maybe takes about 20 minutes, half an hour between taking it apart, putting it back together. So, fresh garbage from the 70s. I don't know what year this game was made. It's a nice game though, I kind of like it. Another wood screw and we should be out. When I work on things, I always look around at the rest of the game to see what else could be done next. Come on, that's it. Get out of there. Those are long screws, aren't they? Looking at that plunger here, you can see that tip is brand new, so I think the owner was telling me his uncle kind of worked on it a little bit with him. Got some new rubber rings and some new light bulbs on there, but you know, it's just because somebody already placed the rings doesn't mean I'm not going to, because I like to go, you know, I kind of have a method I work through and I don't want to take shortcuts where somebody else has presumably done the work. So yeah, this guy will clean up real nice. So we'll get this dirt cleaned out of there too. Okay, those are countersunks, so that's not a problem. That's kind of the terminology. Not the word countersunk, but I was thinking about these larger holes here where you can just push hardware all the way through and it's kind of not of a issue. So, all right, which way did that go on? Like this, right? I get this cleaned up a little bit too. That guy's not a big deal. So, cool. Let me go out to the garage and we'll be back in 2 seconds, literally. All right, how far has that sun moved since I was gone? Check that out. Nice. Oops, where's my correct camera angle? I'll just point it towards that one. Nice and shiny. Did a little bit on this guy too for more of a, give it a smoother action for when you take the glass off, but it's a fair amount of detail for a part on a pinball you normally don't see. So but it's something you see when you take the glass off and everything like that. I don't think we'll need to adjust those screws yet, but that's something we can do at a later time. So can we put this on right now, do you think? No. Let's drop this in here. It just looks better. I mean, we got some, you know, rust stains on there, but said I was going to wipe that off, so I'm going to hold my word on that. I mean, this is just one thing short of a chemical bath for a month, so obviously we're not going to do that on this kind of restoration. I wonder if somebody has a cap. Could be a cap between now and the 60s and 70s. Oh, I just realized I'm wearing a old Chicago t-shirt for the Oktoberfest beer, and I haven't had beer in months. I've cut back. I miss my beer, but I like getting my good sleep at night and things like that, so it's a fair trade-off. Get this put back together here. And now you're all thinking, what if it's getting cloudy out? It's going to rain on the back glass. I didn't check the forecast yet, but we should be all right. So that first coat's still drying. We'll put a second coat on. I like to go a little bit heavier on the second coat, because if you're too thin on those square windows, it's harder to scrape it off. It's actually easier if the clear is thicker. I don't want to tighten that down too much. Let's do this. Let me get some 4,000 real quick. I'm not even going to pause it. 3,000. What's the grit? You can hear me over here through the window. I just had it. Where did it go? That's funny. I just had the 2,000 grit sandpaper. What grade is it? 5,000? 4,000? 2,000? Just had it right here in my hand. There it is. Polish those up a little bit. We'll do the coin door too. Get some of those flaws out of there. Some cases, some people just like to replace the hardware. Some cases we'll do that if it's really rusty or really bad. Anytime I do that, it's usually when I'm doing a cabinet painting. I've only done three games where I've repainted the cabinet. Working on Atlantis right now. Thought I had one more. Here it is. Yeah, I gotta get this on before I put the other pieces on because it gets covered up. I gotta find my proper nut driver. Right there. If I put that, it almost looks like it can go right through, but it doesn't. Get those tightened down. Phillips screws in there all the way. Yeah. All right. Take those. How do I do that? Like that. That can be lubricated too if it needs to be. I don't think it needs to be. The screws just aren't lining up for me. Almost looks like that nut driver could be, or that nut could be turned a different direction to help with that. Oh, there it was. There we go. Nope. Alright, I just did something and it really got better. Let me do this. Oh, I jumped over that nut, I think. Let's do this. There we go. Perfect. We can adjust these screws for the end rail if we need to. What do you think of this? Bet you we could do something with that real quick. Now I'm just getting bored and futzy. Yeah, look at that, huh? I mean, come on, you can't leave. There's like literal like gunk from pop stains or beer stain. I mean, you can still got the metal tarnishment, but like I could reach on there and it was like, you could like get a razor blade and start scraping off the sugar or beer or grain or whatever. I mean, that's unacceptable. So yeah, that looks a lot better. I mean, we're not chrome plating coin doors over here, but you know, hey, it's, you want something nice when you open up the door. And I'm guessing this is for the lock. I mean, we could maybe reuse this on the new lock. I could maybe see about flattening this out for some, you know, that'd be kind of nice if we could keep that in there. We'll see how it goes. Otherwise, we're just going to replace it with a normal lock. I mean, this is not necessary for the home, but you know. How about these little inserts right here? We can get that cleaned up real quick too, huh? Of course, before we clean that, cover your ears. You've been warned. Turn your volume down. Looks like, unless I panned over incorrectly, I completely missed. Did I miss it? I don't remember. But these are pretty filthy, so we got those cleaned out. You have two different denominations. They had, like, was it the quarter and the dollar? Or no, it's a dime for one play, 3 plays for 1 quarter. So, back in the day. Alright, what do I want to do next? We should check on that back glass because that's still sitting outside. Let's do a second coat, and yeah, I'll bring the camera out one more time for that. Alright, that was a healthy enough wait time, so I'm going to put my mask on, something I did for grinding that metal when I was working on this guy right here. So we'll go outside, do a little bit heavier coat, let that dry for, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour, and then probably bring it in and scrape those windows. So, obviously I held my breath most of the time. This is not an organic vapor mask, it's just a surgery mask, which is good for surgery, or COVID, is why I got them, right? So we all know what that is. Not going down that road with that conversation. But yeah, ideally if you want to be spraying paint like that, you should be wearing an organic vapor mask, which I have, but you know, it helps mitigate a little bit of the fumes, but you try not to breathe it in too much. So you kind of notice I went around the edges a little bit heavier. I went around the square window a little bit heavier, and I went on where some of that translucent artwork. Is that right, translucent? I don't have an English degree, so I went a little bit heavier where it like lets the light shine through from the light bulbs, because usually that's going to be a little bit more fragile, and that's where things start to flake off easier. So, oh boy, I don't know if I need a specific. I don't think I need a specific flipper kit for the ones with the zipper flippers. There might be a few odd parts I might have to order, but I don't know if I have the right parts from this era. I can maybe check to see if I have a rebuild kit. I have a Williams EM, but I don't know if it's the right vintage. But ideally, I'd like to find the springs for. Let me get my camera pointed up. I knew that was going to happen. I'd like to find a good spring to replace this with. And obviously, we're going to replace the whole kits there, but we'll do a coil sleeve in there too to make it more snappy, and we'll look at getting this coil. Maybe this coil is working. I don't know. I'm guessing it's not because I have a burn ring going around it. But I think at this point in the game, I still want to stay focused, which is hard to do for me, and work on getting this thing powered up. So let's maybe take a look underneath here, and I'm going to bring this camera around back, and we'll bring another one underneath so you can kind of see what's going on with that power cord. Alrighty. We have the soldering iron plugged in. I'm assuming we're going to be needing that sooner than later. We'll get some more light put on in the cabinet. And I wonder if I should take the playfield out. It might be easier to do that just for demonstration purposes. Here's part of the playfield. These go into the back box. Here's an extra spring. I'm guessing that was changed out at one point. Oh, when I was vacuuming things out, I did find a screw that was halfway shorn. It's a Family Guy reference, maybe. And on the crap, you can't see again, but up on the flipper plate there was a. I'll show you the screw right here. That was for the coil stop bracket plate on the flipper coil. So I think I have to get a new flipper plate for that because I need to have two screws on there. I don't want to send the game out with one screw on like that. So just asking for trouble there. So we got these out of the way here. What else can I do to help things out? Probably take the playfield out. Let me do that. There's a Jones plug right there. Okay, that's for the playfield right here. If I can kind of rock it back and forth so you don't damage it. And then hoping that's the same length. It goes by itself. Okay, so the one that goes by itself goes to the playfield pedestal, and the dual one goes into the back box. So I think that's going to be pretty difficult to screw up if I try and put my Jones plugs in wrong. Usually they keep them different lengths and they have some sort of a key, but they're pretty much idiot proof. So now we can take the playfield out and set it on the playfield glass, which is plated, by the way. So I always include a new playfield glass, as you guys know, but we especially want to get it replaced on this one, because plate glass is a no-no. All right. Here's our power cord. We should do some more vacuuming. Don't plug your ears just yet. So now we gotta find the load versus the neutral. There's the ground wire. They never used the ground wire. That's interesting. So I'm gonna get some more light in here. Looks like some paint got spilled or something. I mean, I could attach a ground piece right here. What's that? I wonder what that is. I'm sure somebody knows. Is that like a game? Game counter's over there. Wonder if anybody knows what that is right there. If I can feel. Let me see if I can tell if there's a difference between the hot and the neutral. One side might be a little bit flatter. I'm not seeing a difference. Maybe this guy will help. Clue me in. I think I found it. You could also look on the transformer, possibly. There's the service. This is a service outlet, by the way. 115. Okay, so the common's the neutral. So we have orange. There you go, right there. I can just look on the transformer. Common neutral, so the hot is going to be orange. Okay. I'm assuming unless that white one is faded. See, this is a plastic wire right here, and it's more of a yellow than it is a white. Do you guys agree on camera? I don't know if you can see. Let me get my lighting a little bit better. I can change the color of the light. Oh, that's better. Yeah, this is more of a yellow, but over at the transformer, it's a I think that's a cloth. No, it's a plastic white, so it changes over at some point. There it is. The red. Okay, I see what's going on here. So I think we're safe to say that the orange is the hot wire. Let's do that. At the end of the day, it's not life or death. But I like to get it consistent, especially if you're going to have a lot of other games on the circuit or some other sort of thing. So let's get our new power cord. I guess I don't really need this camera right here, but that's just to look at this little hack back here that we're about to bypass. Starting to get warm in this room too. So we'll cut that off. But I wonder what I gain if I add the ground, because the ground is red. Well, there's a ground strap right on here, so I suppose, yeah, I mean, we could add a ground. Let's add ground. Why not? There wasn't one from the factory, assuming that's a factory line cord. I'm safely guessing that it is. I don't know. Am I seeing on any? Yeah, I'm seeing on that camera there at the top. So I move the cameras around so much I can't remember what you guys can see and what I can't. So there's people riding their bicycles on the back sidewalk. But yeah, I think in this video here, in the next hopefully 10-20 minutes or so, we'll have this thing fired up and see what's going on. I'm excited to vacuum out the bottom of this cabinet too. It's got a lot of junk just laying in it, so I like to have a clean work environment. So I'm going to work on getting this line. I'm trying to get this insulation off so I get these wires exposed. So I don't think you want to watch me struggle here. So I'll just pause it till I get it ready to go, and then we'll solder it on. All right, it didn't take me very long, but before I clamp down in the back to solder that thing on, I did want to bring your attention over here. Like here's where this is not the common, right? That's maybe it is. I was looking down here by the line right here, and here's where I got my orange wire for 115 volts, and over here C is for common, I assume, right? And then the red here is strapped onto the side of the transformer. That's easy to agree with considering they have it labeled ground wire, but you can see at the factory they never used a 3-prong cord set. So we'll add that in there. It shouldn't make a difference to the game at all, unless for whatever reason they bring this across here. But again, I'm not familiar with this vintage of Williams game, so I usually work on the Gottliebs mostly. So I did work on one other Williams one, but I digress. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. That's how I made my logical reasoning on there. So, but again, if you have them flip-flopped, it's really not the end of the world. So we'll go ahead and clamp it on down there, point it down there. Here's where I'm working, so you can see that. Yep, so here's where the terminals are. So this is kind of an interesting way of doing it. I thought I was going to have to go right onto the fuse or go right onto the transformer or something. So here's the original cord still. If I can, here's a clamp that got yanked out. Let's see if we can, well, we're not going to screw it back in the same hole because that's pretty much halfway stripped out. But I'll probably come in here with some zip ties a little bit later. I'll maybe zip up the new line cord. So I suppose I could do a separate video on line cord replacement, but how many people have done that before? So this is just all kind of the process. Now I got to find my Phillips, and that's a very big part of my process, is finding screwdrivers and stuff laying around here. Oh my goodness. Gotta find that Phillips again. Where did I have it sitting? Did anybody see it? Yeah, it was over by the over by the kitchen. So we'll get this up, that way we can get our original cord out and start stringing our new one along. I'm assuming the spacers are the same. Here's a lock. This is the lock for the back box. Throw that away. Oh, anybody notice that? Did you guys see that yet? It's frozen. The knocker. Oh, can you guys see it? Let me bring it up a little bit. Just caught that right now. That knocker plunger is right. It was all the way up at the top right here. This coil is, I can just tell it's cooked. So I need to order a new coil for that. Let's check the other one too. That one's good. That's the knocker coil. This tram coil though is frozen, so I'm gonna have to add that to the list of things to order. So I don't think I have one. All right, our original one here is exposed. Let me get the new one in. I'm not gonna string it through. Maybe I can make use of that back camera for a second. I mean, normally it's going to go through here, but just for today, I'm going to come out the top here since I don't plan to put the back panel on anytime in the imminent future. So I got my old one there. We got a healthy amount of cable to work with. Get to where we need to go. Where's that clamp right there? Let's do that. These, like I say, I think these screws and standoffs are the same. Let's do this. There's a bit more to chew on than before, so we should be able to bring it around like that. Am I still pointed in the right direction? And I gotta correct it again, sorry. Being efficient with your time and being in video production for something is kind of two different things. Let me angle that down so you can see what's going on. We're just putting that back in here. And then we'll get that other one in there. We're going to do a new hole for that because the original one is stripped out. See right there, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but that's the original hole. And if I get that screw in there, probably, yeah, it slips out pretty easily. So we'll get a new one in there. We can grab on where the rest of that cloth grabber is. There. Is it an A-2-23? 750 winding, A22. That's the same as the knocker coil. too close. No, not too close to the edge. That's better. Soldering 101 right here. Exciting stuff. What's really more exciting is I got my foot caught between the light pedestal and the new ground cord. The new line cord I'm trying to put in. Now I got my iron heating up in front, and then my solder is sitting right back here. Try not to touch it too much. I don't want to get oils and stuff all over it. Wherever it flops is where I'll put some solder on. Nice and hot. Just a little bit. Get her wet. What did we decide the orange was? Orange was the neutral. The orange was the hot. Ooh, the hot's supposed to be black. Well, guess what country that cord came from. More than one way to skin a cat. I'm sure there's more than one way to solder this on, so I could probably have... Oh, you're doing it wrong. Okay. I don't use solder flux. I never have. Never had a problem with it. Nice having an existing connection on there. Plenty of solder to work with. Brown to the orange, brown to the orange, okay. And, you know, because I'm just looking at this other fuse where it crosses over from that red to the yellow or something, so, you know, this could get interesting. Here's our original factory cord. It was common for them to have that little service outlet put in line here for a soldering iron or something, so that can go away. Our neutral. We'll want to get some, I want to get like a zip tie just to kind of bring the profile down on that a little bit. If these things are hanging up too high, I don't want it to start snagging on stuff, not that the game's going to be brought up very often. Beautiful. We'll disconnect this for now. I doubt we're going to do any damage with that coil being frozen, but probably do more damage with it sitting like that. But yeah, we're going to get... I gotta get that coil in order. I'm gonna vacuum this out a little bit more so it's more presentable. I don't think you need to sit here and watch me run a vacuum. That's pretty self-explanatory. But we're really close to powering it up now. Alright, that box is killing me in the back there, so I'm gonna work on getting that removed right now. Frankly, a blank hole of wood looks better than this box right here. So let's get that taken care of right now. Sun's going down. It's a nice day out. What time is it? Oh, it's already 5:30. Alright, oh, yeah. That's about right. Let me get a better look at that. Kind of go over here too. So I'll start taking this apart. We'll give you another angle. So yeah, we can hopefully get, we'll see what Mr. Ross comes up with, if he's motivated to do a fix on this from a wood perspective. So in theory, we'd maybe get several different ways you can go about this with like a wood filler. I don't want to go over the top of this too much if I can help it. Of course, there's my, yeah. I think that's, was this like a snap-in or something? How did they do it? Do I have to loosen, there's like a center screw here that I have to take out? Okay. I see what's going on. That holds it in. Too bad that they did this, but you know, odd modifications are not uncommon in pinball. Alright, that feels better. I mean, physically it's not better, but I mean, we're heading in the right direction. So if we were to put a blank on there, this would have to go back in. So that would seem kind of silly. So yeah, what are we going to do next? We'll start putting those Jones plugs on. I've only got really one camera going right now, so the one in front's not really necessary. I did have this, shoot, you can't see it. I have this loose wire here on the score reel I want to take care of. I got the iron for that heating up right now, so let me take care of that and I'll put the Jones plugs on and we'll get ready to power it up. I'll start by doing the first one. So this one's all by itself. I think these two go together because their keys are back to back. I think that's on the playfield, so I'll just keep the stream going, or I'll keep the recording going. This was never live streamed. This is just a recording. Let me do this. I got that iron heated up. Let me get that wire back on here. They used a lot of solder in the back. You can see me with the camera at the far distance. I'm just putting this wire on here. I don't think it's necessary to reposition a whole bunch of cameras just so you can see me put a wire on. We're going to do that real quick here. There we go. Alright. Let's unplug the iron since I don't need it for the foreseeable future. Stick that on the glass. We're going to drop the playfield back in. Got 3 plugs to put in. Where's that other camera? I don't want to set anything on it. All right. All of these go up to the top. It's always good to give it a good angle. Oh, I don't want to be setting it on those slingshot plastics either. I don't want to break those. That would not be good. Okay, that one's already in, I presume. It's always something that's caught on something, which it already is. Another thing too, if you get these caught on a relay bank, that can cause problems. Wait a minute, one of these goes down below. It has to. Never do they all go up to the top. Okay, that goes over here. more up on top. Oh, I see. That was the one that went up. Never mind. Thought that was kind of odd that every single playfield Jones plug goes up to the top. So I got to drop that one back down. That goes in here. I don't think we have anything difficult shorting out on it, or I mean, I don't see anything that looks hazardous for why we couldn't power this thing on right now. So I have no idea what's going to happen. I never powered it on before I picked it up, so it might not do anything. It could be a complete basket case. The zipper flipper might be the only thing that's got the issue. I was told that was the only thing with the issue, so hold on to your butts. Let's see if I wired it up right. Zzz. Zzz. All right, so far so good. Left button should, yep, turn the lights on for me. Let me get another camera set up here so you can see what's going on. This is a relatively pleasant first power up. I see my 455s are flashing away on me, so I'm going to just mount this thing here real quick. I got to get into the habit of pausing because it's kind of redundant. I won't do anything without you, don't worry. Alright. I think this coil is enabled, or part of the bracket, part of the interlock bracket there's disabled. That's fine. I mean, that's... Coin doors are a big pain in the butt. So I see a lot of lights are on, so I don't know if it's in a certain mode or not, or where we're at. So let's go ahead and put the playfield down. I'm just going to set this down for a second. So, okay, pulling in. That's a regular flipper. Oh yeah, I was yakking about this earlier, but I was kind of saying that that this coil here was kind of damaged, but you can also see how much of a boil there is, or kind of a burn mark on that. Maybe you can't see it, but there's evidence of quite a bit of coil burn on that zipper flipper plate. So, and the coil that's in there right now doesn't show that much evidence of that. So it's possible we're going to be putting a third coil in. So cool, it kind of lights up. Those brackets, remember, have to be adjusted. So no flippers, that's normal. I think we should be in game over mode. So how many of our little blinky bulbs do we have working? I think 2 of them are out, looks like. Yeah, these bulbs, you cannot get these anymore. So the fact that we only have 2 that are not working, these 2, is not bad. So I'll try and stagger them out a little bit or see what looks most appropriate on there. So I think you can get digital, or I don't know how to say digital ones from Comet LED, but they're, I mean, it's a digital type of blink, so you can tell it's not natural. So I mean, I've maybe thought about doing those, but I'm not quite at that point yet. Since you have 4 of the 6 that are working, that's fine. So every once in a while in a game you get lucky and you find one. But yeah, we'll get that back box updated to LED. That's really going to look nice. And same with the playfield. It's look like most of our lights are working. We're in game over mode, I assume, or we're tilted, one of the 2. So let's throw a ball in there. Do I have? No, I think the owner's got the ball. So let me go grab another one. And we'll try and start up a game and see what happens. Alright. Check my phone after. Alright, usually we get some sort of action by doing this, but maybe not. We'll start up a game. Alright, apparently we reset to 7, so that's not good. See if we can check these switches here. If I can get this thing to come out. Chances are this just needs to be cleaned. I'm not going to be too worried about it. Let's see, where's home? Home, that opens, so 8, 9, open home. So that will have to get worked on. guessing this resets something. We got maybe one burnt bulb here. So we get 100 for that. Sounds right. 100, 100, 100. That's good. And then these turn off. That's one. Let's see if the chime... I think I disconnected one. So probably the higher level chime is disabled. Alright, something's going on here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that does something. That opens this guy here. Special when lit. I don't know if I got a relay stuck or something's humming on me. I feel like this should open up and then I should be able to get a score right here. Yeah. I don't know what the gate opened, but score is 300. Score is 300 and that says special when lit. So I feel like this gate right here should maybe give some points, or this gives the special, one of the two. I hear something humming underneath there, so let's see what's going on. I don't know the rules to this game, so I'm learning along with you. Okay, there's a relay that's pulled in and has some... I suppose that's right. Okay, gate relay. It wasn't pulled in, but open gate. What else is buzzing on me? This guy here, change relay. Okay. That's normally supposed to be like that, if that's... Yeah, so for whatever reason, I just don't understand how special... Maybe special is lit and then the gate has to be open, and then this collects special? There it is. So you can have special lit, but your gate's not open somehow, so that's... Or is this giving me a credit? Yep, it is. I can look at the replay unit. I'm getting a credit there. So, okay. I'll even put the playfield down to show you. So, I would assume that your gate would be open before you get special lit. I'm going to grab that pinball there so it doesn't... Yeah, so this little flap right here, I don't know if you can see. Let me come a little bit closer. I'm not going to put that in the shooter lane because there's a switch there. Here, if you want to come over here with me. Yeah, so you've got... Something's kind of stuck right here. This guy is just not adjusted properly. That's just to keep it from coming back in, I assume. But here's that relay. Now I kind of killed it, but yeah, as soon as that relay... If that relay was open, or that relay was closed for the gate to be open, then this would... That was giving me a special when the gate was open. Let me see if I can... I feel like I can actuate it a little bit more. No? Let me do that again. Here. We got to figure out what we need to do to open the gate. Top gate when open. Top gate when open and lit special scores 1 replay. That sounds like incorrect English. Whatever. Let's go ahead and pull that relay down. So now the gate's open. And now we'll get another. So right now we're at 10 credits. So if we hit this guy here. Now we're at 11, 12, 13. But I want to, right now my main concern is where that score reel doesn't go to 0. That's the biggest problem I'm seeing with the game so far. But we got to see what's going on with those zipper flippers too. So flippers close and open. So they're open right now. Alright, so this should close it. That's fine. And this should open it. And it doesn't do anything. So there's probably that coil needs to be looked at. So that's not a concern. Let's go ahead and... Okay, so this drops the gate right here. See how that gate... As soon as I pushed on this, it dropped the gate. So how do we open the gate? How do we get the... Oh, right here. Okay. And then come down and close it. Okay, very straightforward. The game's very straightforward rules. It's easy to follow. Yeah, I can see why people would like this game. Special's not right here, so maybe we have to get more of these. There's special lit over here. There we go. Now remember, there's no knocker for a replay because we disconnected that. But let's start a new game here. Let's go. I'm guessing this is ball 1, that's ball 2. No, I didn't get any points, so that should do it. There we go. This needs to be adjusted for sure. Ball 3, just go to 3 balls per game, so maybe it's still set. Yeah, game over. Okay, so let's start another game. We'll see what happens here. things hung up. Alright, we got some relays to look at, so cool. Ooh, do I want to wrap it up as being done as a part one? I mean, we got ourselves a project, and that one is not appropriate either. So we've got some switch stacks to look at in the back, and it's not scoring properly, but I think we're heading in the right direction. That'll be. I hate scoring issues in the back, so I don't know why, but I think I'll start looking at that and just start taking the switch stacks apart and see what's going on, and we'll catch up with a part two and start stripping down. I like to get the games working before we start stripping things down. Just that's part of my method. So yeah, let's call this a part one, and we'll see you guys shortly. Okay, I hit pause, not end, so I want to make sure I end it properly. Got to go in and get that back glass too. That's what I'll do next. Is I'll start putting LEDs in the back box.